Happy Thursday. It's the Field of 12 after dark. And if you are like us, you probably have football on in the background right now. Maybe you're tuning into this very show because you are sick of what you're seeing from Justin Fields on that Thursday night football right now. My name is Greg Waddell, and you are welcome here. We'll be here for an hour previewing everything that you're going to see this weekend. And I got two elite gentlemen with me tonight, Christian Hackenberg, Clint Stoerner. Christian, Hack, how you doing?
Oh, I'm feeling great right now. You're bringing a lot of good energy right now, and I'm riding this wave with you, brother.
Oh, I love it, Clint. I mean,
Wad, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's no more G-Dub. You're Wad, by the way. It's Dirty Wad and Hack coming at y'all's ass tonight. Number one, I'm doing great, man. I mean, I couldn't be any better. Word on the street is my Razorbacks are getting their quarterback back, and I don't know if y'all have heard, but we got a baseball team down here in Houston that is whooping that ass. Wad, whooping that ass, my man. So yeah, life is good, man. Life is good.
Honestly, I'm just jealous, Clint. I forgot what it's like when my team wins anything notable. So it's good to see you happy. I'm still in a state of absolute misery over here.
Well, come on down, Bubba. We got room.
Yeah, plenty of room on that bandwagon.
I've been known to hop bandwagons before. It wouldn't be the first time. We'll see. Listen, tonight we are going to talk about this fantastic slate. We're going to go through every great game that is on the schedule for this Saturday, and there are a lot of them. A couple of top 10 showdowns, some massive games in the Big 12 that has turned into a highly competitive conference, and there's other great games. We've got ranked matchups all over the place in the Pac-12, in the SEC, in the ACC. We're going to talk about every single one of them. We'll make our picks at the end of the show as well. Producer Dagan is insisting I have to read my record from last week, so that alone is worth staying here for 60 minutes to hear about that. Tonight, though, we're going to toast before this show starts. We're going to toast to something that we were just talking about behind the camera here for about 15 minutes. Christian Hackenberg has a quarterback that if he could give the ball to in this Thursday night football game right now, there's one guy in the country that he would give the ball to, Hack. Go ahead and toast to who that would be.
Well, my question is are you guys going to toast to the same damn thing, or what?
We can do that.
Or is this just going to single me out?
No, let's do this.
I told you guys I'm going to die on this mountain. So I'll go first. No, I'll go first.
I'll build the suspense.
I'll set the tone here. If I have to play a quarterback tomorrow, if I'm a GM who's got a set of balls, and I'm saying I got to play a guy tomorrow out of college, it's Aiden O'Connell from Purdue.
Mic drop.
And I have no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and I'll drink to that.
Here's to having huge nuts, huge cojones, and putting it out there, Hack. I like it, baby.
Yeah. I think the man with the huge hanging nuts there is not the NFL GM, Hack. It's you for that statement, my friend. I respect it. Clint, all right, same question. Who would you hand the ball to? Any guy in college right now to start in an NFL game tonight? Who would it be?
Easy, Bryce Young. I'm giving it to Bryce Young right now. You're talking about a guy that can make every throw on the field, a guy that is poised and ready. I think his transition to the NFL is going to be somewhat seamless. Clearly, if he can deal with Bill O'Brien's ass, Hack, you know a little something about that. If you can deal with Bill O'Brien's ass at Alabama, then you can handle what's going on in the NFL in most organizations. Not this dysfunctional shit that I'm covering and that we're watching on TV tonight. But yeah, I'd go Bryce Young, man. I'm convinced that ice water in the veins, man. That's not that you either have that or you don't, man. And he's flat ass got it. So I'm a Bryce Young guy in terms of being pro ready. I'm on Bryce's bandwagon.
To Bryce, cheers. All right, I alluded to all of my miserable sports teams, but there's one guy who I wish I could give the ball to for my Detroit Lions tomorrow, Sunday, whenever this game is. We have a bye this week, I guess, in 10 days. That would be C.J. Stroud. I just think he's the most talented quarterback. Plain and simple. I've been duped by Ohio State quarterbacks before. It won't be the last time, I'm sure, I get duped again. But I think he's got the biggest arm. I think he's a generational talent. And I would love to give the ball to him right now. So cheers, C.J. Stroud. All right, thanks for playing along with that game, Hack. And thanks for throwing that out there so we could play that game. I'm glad the world got to hear that.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I said, hey, this was just anybody, any 32 team. There's nothing about it. You got to play tomorrow. No circumstances, anything. You got to play tomorrow. That's what I'm rolling with.
And if Hack calls you a gamer, you're a gamer. I just want to throw that out.
Right. And here's the other thing, too. It's not to disagree with either of you guys. I think probably those two guys are set up from a talent standpoint and a genetic standpoint to be better than Aiden O'Connell. But that's just so everyone knows. I'm not that ignorant.
Yeah, we get what you're saying, Hack. No worries. All right, let's jump into the first of many great games this weekend. This is the game of the week. College Game Day is headed back to Knoxville for the second time in a month. Alabama, Tennessee, number 3 versus number 6. The big question, is Bryce Young back? And if he is back, is he healthy? That's a massive cloud hanging over this game. Clint, let's start with you. Is that going to be the narrative of this game? Just as simple as that? Is Bryce Young back, or is there more to it than that?
Well, I think that's going to be the lead story. I mean, I think there's several storylines here that are intriguing, but that's going to be the lead story. Hell, it's the quarterback. It's a Heisman Trophy winner, Heisman Trophy candidate. I mean, that's big time headlines, no question about it. And this is a monster game, man. So is Bryce Young back? I guess we haven't got official word yet. And if he is, what exactly does he look like? Here's the thing: is a couple of weeks ago, I said I think that this team now, if Jalen Milroe goes out there and fumbles twice and throws an interception and all that kind of jive, it changes obviously the dynamic of the conversation. But for the middle of the pack SEC teams, I think that that team in Alabama could be more dangerous with Jalen Milroe running the rock if they do indeed commit to that, and that's what they do. The thing that Bryce Young brings to the table is all of a sudden you've got this extremely high ceiling and you can score 50 in a hurry on anybody, right? And I think this is a week where the only chance they have is if they have Bryce Young. They're playing one of the highest scoring offenses in the country that plays with pace, that it's not reliant on just the quarterback's talent. Their play caller is scheming dudes wide ass open all over the field. And Tennessee's going to flat ass score points. And they're going to need Bryce Young to keep up. So Bryce Young has got to play this week, in my opinion, for Alabama to win this game.
Hack, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's obviously a very strong point. I think Bryce Young's a big factor in this game. The other thing I just want to touch on too is it's not like this Tennessee team's just out there scoring a bunch of points and not giving a damn on defense. They're playing some pretty good sound ball on that side of the rock. And I think, coming into it, and again, this may be another crazy ass statement, but the way it played out against the previous games this year this is how I would approach it if I was Tennessee. I'm going to go out there and go and make Bryce Young beat me. I'm going to get in a shootout with him, with Hendon Hooker. I'm going to take Jahmyr Gibbs out of the football game. Tennessee has the 11th ranked rush defense in the country right now. They're doing a damn good job of that. And I'm going to make Bryce Young outscore my guys and Josh Heupel and Hendon Hooker as a duo, as opposed to just, having to go out and take one guy out. I think that's going to be Tennessee's winning formula. And I think they'd be happy to step in that ring with anybody.
Hack, was that some PFF numbers from you?
No.
Best rush defense?
No. That's just it's statistically significant at this point in the season.
Okay, I'm just curious. I know what the snake behind the scenes was like in that. When we hear Hack throwing out numbers, that's a good thing.
It's all good.
Hey, Hack, you bring up defense, right? I think that's the second storyline outside of Bryce Young is the Alabama defense.
Yeah.
I think Alabama just hasn't been tested. I mean, I think the best opponent they played to date is Arkansas. Best quarterback they played to date, I think, is KJ Jefferson. And if you look at what KJ does and what Kendall Briles, what they do, they're not out there scheming guys up and getting, like a real complicated or creative pass game. I mean, everything is predicated off the power run game between the tackles. That's a totally different attack than what Heupel and Hendon Hooker are bringing to the table. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're scheming guys open in the pass game because they want to, not because they're running the football well, and it's a byproduct of running the football. They're scheming guys open whenever the hell they want to. And so I think this is the best offense. I don't think, hell, I know I'm going to quit saying that. This is the best offense that Alabama's faced to date. And at the end of the day, the question is Alabama's defense as real as everybody thinks they are?
And here's the other thing too, is you look at, Texas gave them hell with Quinn Ewers in that first half. Yep. And again, I'm not going to go back and keep beating a dead horse with that. I still think that Texas wins that ball game if Quinn Ewers plays that entire game, but I'll let that be dead because, you can't go back and change that. But I think heading into this, Heupel is on the same level to me as Sarkisian from a play caller, play designer, like everything that you've just been hitting on, Clint. And I think with the way that Hendon Hooker has been playing since he arrived in Knoxville, and with the efficiency and confidence that he's been playing this year specifically, it's going to be tough to slow him down. And I agree with you. I think Will Anderson's a great player. I think they got great players. I don't think they have as a complete defense as they've had in the past in terms of complementing one another on all three levels of the field.
So, Clint, I want to pick at something you said. You said that you don't feel like Alabama has been very tested this year. And I get your point. I obviously agree with it just based on necessarily the caliber of opponents they've played. However, could we flip that and say, in fact, they have been tested just by some not so great football teams? To the wire against Texas, to the wire against Texas A&M. Like those, in their own weird way, those are tests. But I think to your point, Hack, maybe this team is just a lot more vulnerable than any version of Alabama we've seen in the last few years. Does that make sense, Clint?
Yeah, look, I think they've been battle tested. They've been in moments. Quarterback gets hurt at Arkansas. The Arkansas made a mad rush in the third quarter to make that thing interesting, and they separated. Texas comes out, playing with their hair on fire. They knock Quinn Ewers out of the game, and they find a way last drive to make a play. They did it against Auburn last year. They did it against, they lost to A&M last year. This is a battle-tested team. I just feel like when you Alabama right now on the defensive side of the football is being couched as a dominant defense, and I don't believe they've been they haven't been up against a quarterback or a play caller other than Quinn Ewers and Sarkisian, like you said, and they were surgical for a quarter. They were hell, if Worthy catches that ball, Ewers is dropping dimes all over that ass. And so, I just don't think for 4 quarters they've been up against a quarterback that can sit in the pocket, process, and deliver the ball accurately, a schemer, a play caller that in the pass game is going to scheme guys open, a play caller that's going to be creative with formations and motions and things like that. They just haven't been tested to that degree. And I just think on the back end of this, assuming Bryce Young plays, on the back end of this, I think we are going to learn more about Alabama's defense than anybody on the football field. Any position, any unit, any team on the football field, I think we're going to know more about Alabama's defense.
Wow. Pack, you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I agree with it. I don't think they're as good as what they're touted to be. Like I said, I think they got great players. I don't think there's a complete unit as they have been really in the past 4, 5, 6 years. I don't think there is a complete unit as any of those other units. So we'll see. And the other element with this Tennessee team is pace and tempo. So can't get exotic. You can't get you gotta play sound. You gotta play gap sound. Otherwise they're gonna gas you. And you gotta do it in the heat of the moment at Tennessee. There's a lot that goes into it, man. So I think that I agree with you. I think we'll find a lot out about them.
All right, final question on this game. If Hendon Hooker has a standard Hendon Hooker performance that he's had this season, maybe a rushing touchdown, maybe 2 through the air, 250 plus yards, etc. Tennessee wins this game. Is he the clear Heisman favorite in your eyes? Hack, go first, and then Clint, I want your answer too.
I'm not going to say the clear Heisman favorite, but he puts his name in there. I still think the way C.J. Stroud's been playing, it's hard to go against that. And I think both these guys are still going to have ample opportunities for Heisman moments. And we all know that award's not won really until November, anyway. So this will definitely help, though. And I think it'll propel him from people got him right on the fringe right now to where his name's kind of like on the outskirts of the frames of all these Twitter pictures and shit. He's right there right now. He'll be front and center. If he beats Alabama, he'll be front and center. Believe that.
Yeah, well, look, here's the deal: is right now he's standing outside the red velvet rope. I know it's sexy to put him in there right now, to let him in the club right this second because of 5 games in. He's done a good job, but look, I'm gonna tell you what. Right now, Hendon Hooker is outside the red velvet rope, and he's texting some guy inside that works there, going, "Hey man, come out here and get me." Right? Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams, and hell, I'll even throw. Wasn't that you had talking about Jahmyr Gibbs? Last week, I think somebody was talking about Jahmyr Gibbs.
Blake Corum, the kid up in Michigan right now, is having a hell of a
year. There you go. Yeah. So I mean, you got 3, 4, 5 guys that are hey, they're in the inside the ropes, baby. This right here, I think will legitimately not because somebody hyped his ass up or not because somebody wanted to get a click here or there. If Hendon Hooker plays well, that'd be great. But if he plays well and his team knocks off Alabama, you bet your ass he is the number one outsider. You know what I mean? Outside of the names that everybody's been talking about in the preseason, he's the number one outsider, and he's a new kid on the block, baby. All the chicks want to know who the hell that young buck is.
So they're gonna let the hooker into the club. Is what you're saying, Clint?
Yeah, let the hooker in the club and let him troll, baby.
All right, let's move to the other top 10 matchup, which Hack just gave us a very nice segue to. Penn State against Michigan. Blake Corum, the running back, who I think is really the only non-quarterback that is in the quote-unquote club right now for the Heisman talk, at least when I make the graphic for the Field of 12 socials right now. Corum's the only non-quarterback that's on the list right now. Maybe that'll change.
Hey, real quick. Hey, why? Can we name this club real quick? Can we name it? I mean, I don't. We don't have to come up with a name right now. But there was this spot in Dallas back in my days, and it was called the Candle Room. And I'm gonna tell you what, it was so beautiful, Hack. It was, and you know what? Being the old third string quarterback, I knew the door, man. Baby. I was always behind them red velvets.
You had the secret knock. You might have
That's it.
The keypad number and shit.
Hey, Hack. Knock my ass. I text him on the way in, baby. Your boy's coming. Your boy's coming, and I'm bringing heat with me. Open up the rope. Let's go. Yeah, the Candle Room. We're going to let these boys in the Candle Room. Go ahead. My bad. We're going to talk about these Michigan cats. Let them in the Candle Room.
You're good. Trust me. We'll get the Candle Room branding on the Heisman Club. That's good. All right. Penn State, Michigan. I was going to say Penn State has a running back that I would hope our viewers know about, a tandem of freshman running backs that Hack can tell us more about. But Nick Singleton is a monster. I just want to throw that out and make that very clear. He's a guy that you're going to hear a lot from over the next few years in college football. But if you're looking for someone who can go toe-to-toe with Blake Corum, Penn State has that guy in the backfield. Now, there are questions with both of these teams. My notes say both these teams are unproven. I had to come on the Overreaction show earlier this week and basically say, is Michigan for real? Or like not at all? Do we respect them? Not at all. So Hack, I mean, these are your boys. Penn State, the big spot here on the road. Do you view Penn State as an underdog in this game, or is this two legitimate top 10 teams that are going to go toe-to-toe, just even playing field?
No, I think it's going to be two programs that are going to go toe-to-toe. You know, hell, they did it last year with a banged up Sean Clifford. And they always seem to meet each other at this point in the year, and they're figuring things out. I think Penn State's more proven than Michigan is this year. I think even though the Auburn team is what the Auburn team is, you still go down to a real hostile environment, win that game. And the way they kicked off the season against Purdue Thursday night, started it all off. I thought that's a tough place to go and get a win, and they were able to do that as well. So, you know, they played in some element games last week against Northwestern, or 2 weeks ago against Northwestern. So I think this Penn State team's in position. They're poised. You kind of highlighted the running backs. So I'll piggyback off that. I think Nick Singleton's going to be the horse. And I said, I think Penn State fixed their run game. I'm not 1000% sold on it being, you know, the guys up front just mauling people, creating big, huge, you know, running lanes for these guys on a consistent basis. I think they just got a little bit of nos in the back of that Honda Civic, and Nick Singleton in some explosion. Blake Corum, on the other hand, you know, I think that this Michigan team's done it for now, you know, a season and a half heading into this year. You know, I think they've played really physical up front. He's been a great back for him. So I think that's going to be a big talking point. But yeah, man, I think it's two heavyweights going at it in the Big Ten East, and I expect a damn good football game.
Okay, you talked about the run game. Another big matchup here would be quarterback spot. A guy that we've talked about a ton on here in Sean Clifford, and then a relatively new face to this conversation in J.J. McCarthy, who has, I think, passed all of his tests thus far. You could maybe say he hasn't lived up to whatever the wild expectations are of a kid this talented who takes over for the guy who led the team to the playoff last year, but he's done what he's needed to do to win them games. Even when it's been dicey, he's made the right plays. He hasn't really turned it over. He threw his first interception last week and was flawless after that. Clint, I want to go to you on this. Do you view a difference at the quarterback spot as a potential factor in this game between Hack? I've heard you say this word for word. Sean Clifford's a guy who can manage the game for you and feel great about going out to win a football game. Is J.J. McCarthy potentially a guy who can do more than that, who could go out and win this game with a big play if needed? What do you think, Clint?
Well, I mean, that's we don't know enough about J.J. McCarthy to know what the hell we're talking about, if we're being completely honest. But I think that's what I'm looking at from the quarterback perspective is the game manager versus the young potential superstar with the high ceiling, right? I mean, it's you got the veteran that's seen it all. The first half of your question, or when you first started that question, you said, something about the quarterbacks. I don't remember how you phrased it, but something about the quarterbacks being the difference. I think Sean Clifford and his veteran game manager approach, I think that's the difference in this ball game. I'll let the cat out of the bag. I'm picking Penn State, and I'm picking them because of Sean Clifford. I think J.J. McCarthy is playing with house money. And here's what I mean by house money. You go to the casino, and when you walk in, sometimes they give you that little card, and you got $50 or $100 worth of slots on there if you're a new member. Like, that's what J.J. McCarthy's got. He's still in the casino gambling on that little bit of money that the casino gave him. He can bomb this game, and they're going to ride with him, and he's going to have a career at Michigan. It's no big deal. This is Sean Clifford's storybook ending. And to beat Michigan with that number, that big gold in, or I guess yellow, isn't it? Is it maize and yellow? It's yellow, isn't it? Not gold. What is it? Which one is it?
What are you talking? Just the logo?
The color. What's the maize and
blue? Maize and blue.
Maize and blue. So maize. So it is maize. There you go. I thought maize was the blue color, but nonetheless, that big ass maize M, if you want to call it, you learn something every day. With that little bitty number 5 next to it right now, Sean Clifford, if he can write his last chapter and it starts with beating Michigan at number 5, I think it'd be beautiful, man. So I think Clifford's a difference in this game. You go in there and you run for, what was it, 250 against Auburn, and I know Auburn's not a powerhouse this year, but when you go in there and from really a one-dimensional perspective, you put 250 on Auburn, you didn't do that shit by accident.
Yeah,
that's real.
Like Auburn doesn't have talent either. I mean, they got guys.
No,
like that's the point.
No,
like they got guys that are walking around in Michigan's locker room too, like frames. It ain't like it's like this big Division II to Division III. You ain't playing fucking Wisconsin Whitewater. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And heck, here's the deal, though, right? This, man, is like if you're, and not that they have to be one dimensional. I'm not in any way minimizing Sean Clifford. I'm just saying in that ball game, it was, we're gonna run this sumbitch straight down Main Street until you do something about it. And and they did it at will, and they did it to the tune of 41 points, and they did it to the tune of, I can't do my math quick enough. What is that? 24-point victory? Was it 41-17 or something like that?
Yeah,
but
I mean, they smoked them.
I mean, it's just, you don't do that by accident. So I think they're going to be able to run the ball, but this thing's going to come down to, can Sean Clifford make a couple of them? He's one of them dudes that just, he got grass stains from his damn the collar of his neck all the way to the tip of his toes, man. I mean, he plays hard. Now, can he make 2 or 3 of those kind of plays that'll win this ball game?
And the other thing I will throw in there too is Penn State's defensive backfield is a very veteran group that's really, really freaking good. And this is going to be the first test for JJ from that side. And it ain't just the corners. Both the safeties are veteran, good players, played a lot of football. Jair Brown and Keaton Ellis. That's going to be, to me, for Penn State the X factor. I'm not even worried about Sean. I think Sean's going to come out. He's going to make 3 or 4 plays that are going to be big time plays. He's got Parker Washington. He's got Mitchell Tinsley, the kid coming in, who I still think has yet to erupt for them on the offensive side of the ball and become a big factor. Look for it this week. I think they're going to be able to figure out a way to creatively run the football. To me, it's about, can the Penn State defense confuse JJ a couple times, get a short field, capitalize on it offensively? And I think they're going to be able to do that.
Let me ask you that, Hack. I want you to dig a little more right there. On JJ, is this a game where you bend, don't break, and you make him go 13 plays and test the young dude to make a mistake? Or is this we're going to be multiple and we're going to pressure your ass and force you into some mistakes? How do you think how do you think Penn State approaches it?
I think Manny Diaz is going to do a little bit of both, in my opinion. I think if he gets an opportunistic situation where JJ buries himself into a 3rd and 12 or a 3rd and 14 early, he's going to come after his ass. He's going to come after him and he's going to try and burn him, because I think he trusts those guys on the back end to hold up. Right. Yeah. But I think where if Michigan's running the football and they're doing it, which I think Michigan's going to be able to do at least early in this game, they're going to be able to stay on schedule. If they're going to stay on schedule, it's got to be a bend, don't break, get those guys involved, and someone's got to make a play some way, shape, or form. Right. And I think that's where you're going to start testing JJ's patience is, can this kid just take what they're giving him consistently? I don't know that. Right. And to your point, like we don't know a damn thing, but this is his first test. And to your point, I think he's playing with house money. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. But that's why I'm with you. I'm riding with Penn State, more veteran group, been through it, been through the fires, tested the whole 9. And this is where I think the decision that Jim Harbaugh made to go with JJ McCarthy now was unprecedented. And you're going to learn a lot about whether or not Jim Harbaugh knew something that we all did.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a bunch of good ass quarterbacks, bunch of 4 and 5 stars out there that were money when they had that nice little run game, when you were playing a lesser opponent, when the expectations weren't real high. And then all of a sudden you get in a big game like this and you just simply can't be patient and go 13 plays. You just simply can't be patient. And a lot of young quarterbacks are broken in that exact situation. And so JJ could have been great up to this point. I'm sure he is. I'm sure the talent's just oozing out of him. But when it's all said and done, boy, you get in that pressure in a tough situation in a game that everybody expects you to win. Ooh, look out.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to find out, really, essentially, if Harbaugh's bet, if his wager on J.J. McCarthy was worth it. And not to be too result-oriented, but that's pretty explicit, something we're going to find out after this game. The only thing I would just add to this is that I'm a little surprised you guys are that I don't want to say against JJ, but just like uneasy about him, because to me, through his 3 starts now, I think it's 3 starts, 3 or 4, like he essentially has been the game manager, and he's been a pretty flawless one. Like, if anything, the complaint is he hasn't been taking those risks. He hasn't made the big play, right?
He had to the what?
He hasn't had to, and Michigan hasn't pushed him to, right? Michigan's just kind of cruised. They've been riding Blake Corum. Like they haven't put him in situations against lesser opponents where he had to make the decision of whether I'm going to check this ball down or I'm going to take the shot. And he just hasn't been. He's had training wheels on this entire time, right? He's going to have to take them bitches off this week. And he's going to have to make 5 or 6 plays when he hasn't been asked to make them. 3rd and 9. You got to drop back and get to 3 because they're going to be really good. You got to get to 3. Have you done that yet? I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't watched enough of it, but I guarantee you he hasn't done it consistently. So that's where I think he's going to have to make some strides.
Yeah, the only thing is I would say they were on the ropes. That's part of why we're saying we don't trust Michigan at this point, right? Is because they were in a tie game in the second half last week.
Once.
To Maryland too, Hack. It's twice in 3 weeks.
I don't know,
I'm not saying
that Maryland's an explosive offense too, bro. Like, you can't even sit there and say Maryland's a bad football team. Maryland's got an explosive ass offense with a veteran quarterback.
I'm not saying they're a bad football team. I'm saying that was a 1-score game, and JJ McCarthy was at quarterback, and
what Blake Corum do both those games?
Blake Corum can still do that this game, though. Like, I get Penn State's different, but
yeah. Hey, Wad. So here, here's what's up. To me, it's like. Because you're right. I mean, again, battle-tested, situational football. But like to me, there's a handful of teams in America, Penn State and Michigan being two of them, that they got dudes that when you're matched up with on one-on-one, when Penn State and Michigan play, as a quarterback, I'm not coming up there and going, my best receiver's fixing to create 5 yards of separation, and I'm gonna bang this glance route in there. You know what I mean? He's pressed. He's gonna run by this bitch, and he's gonna be 5 yards beyond. He's going 5 yards of separation. All I got to do is not throw the ball out of bounds, right? And that's, to me, that's the difference. Like, as a quarterback, the mindset, Wadd, like when he's playing, man, no disrespect to Maryland, and no disrespect to any of the middle of the pack ACC schools or middle of the pack Big Ten schools. I mean, I know as a quarterback, like, you ain't got dudes. You ain't got dudes that can run with this guy or that guy. You don't have a D line that can handle my offensive line, that can even give me any kind of problems in pass protection or run game. This game, you ain't got that shit. In this game right here, you got to execute better. You got to be on time. You got to be more accurate. When the play's there to be made, you might get 2 plays against Michigan or against Penn State if you're J.J. McCarthy, where you might get 5 or 6 against a lesser opponent. And so that's my deal with J.J. Young dude. I mean, he's got to raise his game to a whole nother level and be so much more precise in his decision making and his accuracy in his throws when you're playing this caliber opponent. That's the difference to me.
It's a maturity game.
There's no way I'm going to swing that, because we haven't seen him do it against a team the caliber of Penn State. I would just say, like, if we're just picking Penn State or Clifford here because we think he can be a better, safer game manager, that's where I would say, like, well, JJ's been a pretty damn good game manager through 3 games.
But I don't think either of us cited just Clifford being the X factor here.
No, that's what I took from that.
I mentioned the defensive backfield at Penn State. I mentioned a lot of things about Penn State right now. I mentioned the wide receivers at Penn State. Hey,
they got a damn good team, Hack. You're not wrong. We'll hear you.
I'm riding Sean Clifford, baby. Isn't he redheaded? Isn't Sean Clifford redheaded?
He's got a little ginger in him.
Ginger Nation, baby. I'm right. Sean Clifford is the X factor. Hey, write the last chapter of your book, Sean Clifford. Let's ride, baby.
Do they know Sean Clifford's name at the Candle Room, Clint? They do, right?
Oh yeah, no question. No question. Shit. Hey, here's the deal. Sean's sitting at my table. I don't know much. I ain't never met Sean Clifford, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and imagine he probably had a pretty good time in the Candle Room. It's just, it ain't nothing but a low lit lounge, baby, with a hellacious DJ. A hellacious DJ that might put a little bit of, he might put a little somehow find a way to mix up Drake and George Strait. You know what I mean? Like, put them two some bitches together and have me bobbing my head. Wow. Come on, you kidding me? Let's go.
Listen, you are listening and or watching the Field of 12 After Dark, which apparently is presented by the Candle Room. It's also presented by Bet Rivers. You can find us on the SiriusXM app. If you listen to us there, we appreciate you. We are on every Monday through Thursday and also Saturday nights after all of the action. You're going to want to listen to this Saturday night's show because there are a ton of crazy games this week. You can also watch us on the YouTube. Apparently the YouTube chat is popping off tonight. Shout out to the YouTube chat. We love when that happens. Field of 12. Click subscribe for us if you're watching us there. Let's move to the Big 12 where, another top 15 matchup, boys. Oklahoma State at TCU. Two teams that are essentially atop the Big 12 right now that we had to wait 6 weeks for everyone to even take that seriously, I think, right? This was Oklahoma and Texas. Now, I mean no disrespect to these two teams because they're obviously good football teams, and everybody did, I think, consider Oklahoma State a threat to win this conference preseason. But there was a lot of Baylor talk, who just lost to West Virginia, by the way. There was a lot of Oklahoma talk. There was a lot of Texas talk. Right now, Oklahoma State and TCU have the clearest path to winning the Big 12. So my question to you guys, let's go to Hack first. Are these the best two teams in this conference?
The way they've played up into this point, yes. I was kind of with Clint. I thought Oklahoma State was the favorite preseason, and I think they still kind of are my favorite. But, however, I think Texas has played their way into this now. Especially if one of these two is going to have a loss. Texas has played their way back into it. Oklahoma's obviously fallen off. So, I think this is going to be a great matchup. But like I said, I was high on Oklahoma State coming into the year, and they've done nothing to really deter me from that at this point.
Clint, you agree?
Yeah. Well, look, I think I picked Oklahoma State to win the Big 12, and I'm not going to disrespect the Big 12 and say if you run the table in the Big 12 that you can't get into the big dance. Like some cats I know, I don't know. I know G Dub and Hack may even bailed in on that one. If they run the table in the Big 12, clearly they would win the Big 12. So I think they would get in to the college football playoffs. I mean, let's say they're on the outside at number 5 staring in. Either way, it's a hell of a season. So I pick Oklahoma State to win it. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. I did a little digging before the show tonight and trying to just figure out, all right, where's statistically over a 5-game sample, where is the advantage or where's the matchup, right? Where's the matchup in this ball game that we can look at and say, are we looking at strength on strength? Does somebody have a glaring weak, like Arkansas's defense? I mean, that is crippling if you're trying to keep up with good football teams. And I'm gonna be honest, both of these teams are averaging 46 plus points a game, and their defenses are like four slots apart in terms of the points that they're allowing.
Yep.
Right. And so neither one of the defenses are slowing. They're not great, but they're very similar. They're very comparable. And so I started looking into, okay, what about the players? Who do I like better? And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm picking Oklahoma State for one reason, because my ass was riding Oklahoma State in the preseason, and they're undefeated right now. I ain't gonna try to front. That is exactly what I'm doing. Now, to your question specifically, Wad, nothing like a guy going on for 5 minutes before he answers your fucking question, huh? Let me answer your question specifically. Texas is in this sumbitch. Texas is it, but as long as Quinn Ewers is healthy, you better believe they're in this sumbitch. I don't know if y'all got to watch the Oklahoma game. I don't know if you watched the Alabama game at the beginning. There's something there with this cat, man. There's something there with this cat. Now, he's got to overcome some dysfunction at Texas, because I don't think they're completely out of the dysfunction dungeon, if you know what I'm talking about. But this kid can play now. This kid got a chance to be special. And I'm looking at their schedule right now. Guess who's still on Texas' schedule moving forward? Oklahoma State and TCU. Still got to play both of them, boys. The Big 12 is going to come down to one of these 3 football teams, and I think right now Texas is squarely in the mix. Zero doubt about it. For the Big 12, obviously, we're talking about Big 12 championship.
100%.
No question about it. 100%. I think
100%.
Texas is in this. They're in the conversation.
And I appreciate you having bigger balls than me, Clint, and saying that, because I wanted to say that, but you said it, so I appreciate that.
Heck. You clearly hadn't seen me naked. We hadn't showered together, boy, because I got cheated at birth in that category. And my brother, God bless his soul, that sonbuck had a set of coconuts. But me, I may or may not have got slighted at birth. But you know what? We're living good.
Listen, while I do give you credit for going a little further than Hack did, this looked like a team effort, honestly. Hack kind of prompted it. He's like, well, I like Texas here. And then Clint jumped in and said, no, these guys could actually do this. I'm going to actually pin you guys down and make you give me an answer here, because I want to read the schedule that Clint just threw out, right? They host Iowa State this week. You would hope that's a win. They're 16-point favorites at Bet Rivers. Then they go at Oklahoma State, conference on the line there. Then they go at Kansas State, which is a scary game on the road. They host TCU after that. Then they go at Kansas. Now, we don't know what Jalen Daniels' situation is going to be by that game, but that's 4 consecutive games against ranked teams. And if that's not enough for you, then you got to play Baylor the final week of the season. So it is a bit of a gauntlet. And
well, let me ask you this. What's Oklahoma State and TCU's for the same stretch? Because I would assume it's probably much of the same.
I'm going to say these other teams play similar ones. I'll read you Oklahoma State's at TCU this week. Then they host Texas. They're at Kansas State. They're at Kansas. The same 4 teams in a row, right? The only difference is as of today, Oklahoma State does not have a loss in this conference. TCU and Kansas State are up there with them. Texas has 1. So you would think Texas has to beat Oklahoma State, and from there it's an even playing field. We'll see. But let's pick one out of the hat. That's what I want here. You both had Oklahoma State preseason. Today, knowing what we know now, are you sticking by that pick? Hack, go first, and then we'll go to Clint.
If Texas's defense can play the way that they've shown me that they can play, if they can keep playing that way throughout the year, I got Texas winning this whole damn thing coming out of nowhere.
Wow. Clint?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't get the Texas Tech loss out of my head, man. I was really disappointed in the Longhorns in that particular loss. And I know Quinn Ewers wasn't there, but I was really disappointed in their defense's inability to get off the field on multiple fronts there. So no, I'm gonna stick to my guns, man. I'm gonna ride Oklahoma State. I mean, I feel like the thing about Oklahoma State, guys, is like I feel like I know who Oklahoma State is. You know what I mean? Like we've seen this from Oklahoma State. I'm the biggest believer out of these three teams in Oklahoma State simply because I've seen it. Like I still don't know. Is TCU really a squad that's going to go put 665 up on somebody and call the dogs off? I don't give a shit if it was Oklahoma. 665. Heck, you ever played in a game where you put up 665 yards?
No, I mean, no.
I'm sure you did in high school. I'm talking about in college.
No.
I mean, damn. And call the dogs off early in the fourth? Shit, I mean, I don't know what to think of TCU, and I really don't know what to think of Texas. I think they got a chance to be in the conversation. I'm going to ride Oklahoma State because I feel like I know exactly who they are. We've seen this year in, year out from Gundy.
And the other thing, and that's the point too, I think they got consistency at the head guy trickling down. They got a consistent identity as a program.
You get consistent what?
They have a consistent identity as a program. What did I say?
No, nothing. Never mind. Bro.
We heard something different. You said just that, but I know Clint heard something. Clint's in the candle room right now, okay?
Yeah, I'm behind the road, baby.
I'm trying to figure this out. I'm just going to keep my damn mouth shut.
All right. So thank you for playing my stupid game there. You know I'm always going to throw those at you when we're paired together on one of these shows. For the record, I'll just quip that to me, I love a team that got so close to the mountaintop last year but didn't get there. I love that narrative, and that's Oklahoma State. To me, this feels like it could be the year before the year from Texas. Clint, what on earth are we doing right now? What is this?
That's that Class A Azul, baby. I had to give me another drink, man. Candle room, it's hot tonight, baby. I got to keep up.
It's hot tonight. This is really the Field of 12 After Dark show right now. All right, one more game in the Big 12, and then we can move to the best of the rest here. I guess I'll tee it up like this. Tell me if anyone should care about this game. This is Kansas without Jalen Daniels at Oklahoma. Give me a reason why I should care about this game, Clint.
Because you want it to get even worse for Boomer Sooner. You want it to get worse for Brent Venables. Let them lose to Kansas, hell, with or without their quarterback. But without their quarterback, let them lose to Kansas. That's a different level of pain right there. And I don't mean that any disrespect to this particular Kansas football team. But when it's all said and done, Kansas football is one of the worst Division I programs in America over the last, 30 years. Let them go to Oklahoma and handle the Sooners, boy. It'll get even worse. So there's a lot of people out there that'll tune in just to see if OU is as bad as everybody says they are at this point in time.
Heck, anything to add on this one? I'm straight up out on this game. Look, I don't want to just watch Oklahoma get kicked while they're down right now. I think that's a bad football team, and that's not changing.
Only glimmer, only flicker of hope for Oklahoma is Dylan Gabriel is expected to play, so don't have to resort to General Booty.
What a shame!
What a name! That guy should have a plaque on the damn wall of Candle Room. Hey, when we're talking about this particular ball game, guys, I hope this is one of those situations where there's a lot of folks out there that are going to give Venables a pass, man. There's a lot of dudes out there. There's a lot of people in the media world. A lot of us talking heads are going to give Brent Venables a pass. And while I don't have a problem acknowledging, hell, only a fool would not acknowledge that, hey, man, OU's relative to what they typically have in that locker room, they're down a bit. They lost some difference makers, right? But it's a level playing field right now for OU and a lot of these teams. A lot of these teams that are beating the brakes off of them, OU still got more stars on their roster than some of these schools. Damn sure than Kansas, right? And so I just hope that moving forward that in our conversations that Brent Venables is held accountable for what's going on. It's these coaches out here that have better dudes than 90% of the teams that they play, and they go out there and make millions of dollars and just run roughshod all over these football teams. Hey, I tip my cap. But to me, it means a whole lot more to me what kind of coach you are when you don't have that size of an advantage over every opponent that you play. Like, there's no reason that OU shouldn't go out there and play with Kansas and beat Kansas. There's no reason they shouldn't. And so I hope that moving forward, we don't just resort to, oh, man, well, boy, a bunch of those guys transferred, man. There was a lot of transition at OU, man. It's going to take a couple of years. Come on, man. That's when a coach got to make his money. That's when you got to earn your keep, man.
Yeah, it's big boy business in the Big 12 at Oklahoma, particularly. So, Clint, I promise you this. I'll hold them accountable with you. Anytime I'm on a show with you, we can set you up for your Brent Venables monologue.
Yeah, well, I just look, man. I played at a school where it was an uphill battle every year. I mean, every week. You know what I mean? We never. I mean, there were dudes that were playing for the upper half of the SEC when I was there. They didn't do nothing but play special teams, and they looked better. Were faster, bigger, faster, stronger than half of our damn starters. So we were always playing uphill, man. And these some of these universities that typically have that huge advantage, boy, when they don't get it and the wheels completely fall off, shit, man, that's some of that got to do with a coach having the ability to keep the guys together. Some of that has to do with a coach's ability to weather the storm and deal with adversity and rally the troops in tough times. Come on now, you're getting paid a lot of money. Like, you need to earn it right now.
Yeah. And I think we'll know a lot more after this week, because you're getting essentially gifted a game against a Kansas team as great as they've been. Without that quarterback is going to look a lot different. How they respond in that game will show me a lot about where this team is at mentally and emotionally right now. All right, we're going to jump around the country for the best of the rest here. We're going to start with Syracuse, who is hosting NC State. Cuse has been one of the biggest surprises in college football to me this year. Sean Tucker is an absolute star at running back for that team. Hack, you like Sean Tucker?
Great football player. Great football player. Actually, we got to watch a lot of them against when they played Purdue. Just tuning in to my most pro-ready quarterback and and another Big Ten team earlier this year. So, I like him. Real dynamic player.
Yeah, so we actually had an interview with Sean Tucker this week. Darian Rencher, the Field of 12's own, got to sit down with him. We're going to show you a clip from that interview right now.
Podcast here with Darian Rencher and my guy Sean Tucker. What's good, bro? How you doing?
Good. How you?
Doing good, bro. Look, y'all have had a really good season, bro. Look, I've kind of seen it since, I think before you got there was 2017. Y'all knocked us off. We came to the Carrier Dome. We lost to y'all up there. And ever since, I feel like I love what y'all's coach has been doing up there. And this week, y'all got a really big game against NC State. How you feeling?
I feel good. The team, after coming off the bye week, some guys rested up. I needed some of the rest, healing up, getting in treatment, and, just having extra time to study our opponents.
Is this during your career, this two teams top 25, is this the biggest game, like ranked wise, that you've had in your career, like for y'all and the opposing team?
Yeah, it's the biggest. Yeah.
It's hard, bro. Look, and for the people that don't know, like going to the Dome, it's kind of an interesting little spot because it's like you trapped in this little bubble, bro. Tell the people about like y'all's home field advantage. Like, describe people that don't know. Obviously, you got the Syracuse fans who all know about it, but to people who don't know, describe the Dome.
I feel like if you've never been in the Dome, just playing in there in that atmosphere and that enclosed environment is definitely crazy. And having all of our fans out there, yelling and screaming in that enclosed environment, creates, loud sound and a havoc for the opponent team.
Right. And then, but even when y'all honestly were kind of like, obviously not having as much success as y'all had now, y'all's fans always show up, bro. Why do you think that is? Like, the people show up in Syracuse.
I feel like it's because the legacy and like our past history that we have with the Syracuse the team and the school that just creates like that that bond that the fans always want to come out and support.
Right. And then the kind of last question on this game is like, what do you think for y'all to kind of, which we'll get to that in a second, but for y'all to get this next win added to the notch of being undefeated still, what do you think it's going to take from y'all?
I feel like we just got to execute well, follow our game plan, limit the mental mistakes that we have, and not just play physical.
Facts. Now, hey, that's all you can do. Get into y'all season. So y'all 6-0, undefeated, ranked. How has it been experiencing the success of the program?
It's been good, but I feel like it hasn't been nothing too crazy. The guys still got that mindset of how the past season's been, so we know what we want to achieve and what we got to achieve. So we're still just working hard and trying to achieve that.
Right. What do you think? Is there like a big difference in this year and last year, as far as like team culture, mindset of y'all, like kind of the way y'all play? Because I mean, y'all won games, y'all also played well up to this point.
I feel like the coaches that we've gotten that came in on the offensive side, they've definitely changed the offense around and coached us up and teached us about things in general. Just get everybody on the one page, and all the guys are striving for this one goal.
That was Syracuse star Sean Tucker with our own Darian Rencher. If you want to see the full sit-down interview of that, you can find it on the Field of 12 YouTube channel. All right, one question on Q's before we move out of the ACC here. NC State had their shot at the top of the ACC against Clemson, didn't pass the test. Syracuse, are they a legitimate threat to win this conference? Clint, yes or no?
Ooh, a legitimate threat. Yeah, because there's a lack of, I would say because there's a lack of candidates. I mean, there's not a whole lot of cats chomping at the heels of Clemson and still have them have a shot at some point in time, right? So, yeah, I would say that they've got an outside shot. Here's what I like about Syracuse, guys, is, and I don't know if I like it or if it's actually the reason why they're probably overrated. I kind of one of those, like, they have the ability to somehow stick around in a game. And in the fourth quarter, this Schrader kid all of a sudden has the ability to put his cape on and make a throw that, I'll be honest with you, this kid ain't changed a bit since he was at Mississippi State. Now, he ain't developed one bit. He's still the same dude. I mean, runs around, unbelievable athlete, takes an absolute ass beating the whole game and will make some terrible ass decisions and throws. And then all of a sudden he throws the ball and you're like, well, damn, that's big league, right? Just like he did against your guys. Hack, you text me, he's like, hey, man, you got to watch this dude. So I throw him on. It was Purdue, right? I throw him on and I'm watching him. And I get drawn into this dude, and all of a sudden he drops a dime to win the ball game on a corner route out here with very little time left on the clock. It may have been overtime, I don't remember, but
it was 17 seconds left in the fourth.
The crazy thing here to me, Hack and Watt, is like I could see NC State running away with this football game, but I could also see Syracuse keeping it close and them making some unbelievable play in the last minute of the ball game to win it. You know what I mean? Like I can't peg it. It could be a blowout or it could be a last-second victory by Syracuse. I mean, I know that's not breaking news or anything, and I'm covering a pretty wide spectrum there. But I really,
You said that shit like it was.
Hey, but delivery's part of it. Hack, damn. I mean, hell, yeah, no. I think to answer your question, I think Syracuse could be a player in the down the stretch in this thing to win the conference.
This is damn Ron Burgundy over here.
Sure.
No, Syracuse.
Grind.
No.
Now shut it down.
No. I don't think they're better than Wake Forest, let alone Clemson.
Wow. Okay. Is anybody a legitimate threat to you, to Clemson, Hack, or is that just like they're going to run away with this at this point?
Wake Forest took them to the friggin' gills. But no, I think Clemson's, for all the doubts I still have about Clemson from what they used to be to what they are right now currently, I still think when it comes to ACC play, they got back whatever they didn't have last year. They're back to that.
Yeah, and they're through the biggest tests also to that
Right.
point. So we'll
Right.
see what happens next. All right, to a big-time Pac-12 matchup, USC at Utah. Utah was a lot of people's favorite preseason to win this conference. Obviously, they lost the heartbreaker to Florida early. Last week, I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. The loss to UCLA. Now they get a bounce-back spot at home against the most talented team in that conference. Is that fair to say about USC? Clint, what do you think?
Who the most talented? I think UCLA will give them a run for their money, but I do think, to your point, yeah. I mean, if I was a betting man right now, I'd put a good chunk on USC being the most talented team in that, if they're healthy, the most talented team in that conference. Yeah. In the ball game, are we talking a ball game, or are you just talking about SC and being the most talented?
I would say in the conference, right? But it's fascinating to me because you've still got UCLA lurking, but also just specific to this game against a Utah team with 2 losses at this point. USC is 3-point underdogs. Like, I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Look, I think I was high on Utah at one point. I thought the culture, the veteran laden team, the blue collar mentality, all that jive. I thought that would give them a chance in the Pac-12 to make a run after they lost to Florida week 1. But when you bump up against, last week obviously they lost the ball game. That one's going to hurt. That's going to take a little wind out of their sails. But when you bump up against a team like SC, you can throw that culture, and you can throw all that shit out the window. If you can't score points, if you're not explosive, and I know Cam Rising, he's a good player. I get it. But another one of those try-hard guys that makes it look a lot more difficult than the Caleb Williams of the world do. And I just don't think Utah can play with SC from a scoring perspective. I think this is a USC win, and I think it's convincing.
Heck, agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think I've talked about it. I don't think SC's really had to pull much out of their bag of tricks yet up until this point this year. I think that this Utah defense can force them to dig a little bit deeper than anybody else into that proverbial bag of tricks offensively. But, ultimately, I think if it comes down to a shootout, it's going to be tough to keep up with the Trojans. And all the horsepower they have. As much as I like Utah, and I for everything that Clint mentioned as well, I like the mentality. I like the hard nose kind of. I mean, like George said, like not to be cliche, because sometimes I can't stand the cliches, but the biker gang type mentality that Utah brings, they do bring it, and I like that. But and it's something I vibe with. But I think SC at the end of the day has too much.
Have we seen USC really get thrown into like a battle yet, though? Like, I guess that would be my fear of this game, is if Utah truly is that toughness team, even if they aren't the best and they haven't had the results that back it up.
My thing is, you can't be right though with SC. Defensively, you can't be right. You load the box, you're playing one-on-one with guys who can win one-on-one all day long, and you got a kid who can throw it one-on-one all day long. If you play coverage, they got guys up front. If you give them a light box, 5 box, they're gonna if you get and try to add extra hats, they're gonna play with those extra hats in the horizontal passing game pre-snap. You could throw the bubble outside, or you keep him in there. So you're gonna play games with those guys all day long. They're gonna stretch the field out. Like, you can't be right with them. And then it's not even including Caleb Williams in the running game as well. So it's just a bitch.
To your point, Wad, I do think that moving forward, USC's most difficult opponents are ahead of them. You're looking at Utah, you're looking at UCLA, and even Notre Dame. I know they're not who we thought they were, but that's still a hard-nosed defense, right? I don't know that they've ran up against squads like Utah, UCLA, and Notre Dame in that first stretch of 6 ball games. Washington State's a good football team. Arizona State, Oregon State, Fresno State, Stanford, Rice. They hadn't seen anybody like Utah, and they hadn't seen anybody like UCLA or Notre Dame. So I think they got their work cut out for them moving forward. I think they'll handle it, for the record, but they got their work cut out moving forward.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite games of the weekend, just specifically to see them in that environment, right? I'm excited to see Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison be underdogs in a game. I have picked against this team about 3 times this season. I haven't trusted that they have much more than that talent. I thought they'd get in a battle when no one saw it coming. I thought they'd end up making some mistakes. They haven't yet, to their credit. So this is one where I feel like I'm going to be able to fully jump on to the USC bandwagon if they can get through this test. All right, it's time for the moment everybody's waited for all week. That's the moment where we make our field of 12 picks. Producer Dagan is going to jump in and do this with us. All 4 of us are going to pick the 12 best games of the weekend. We are going to give you who will win these games one by one. Just for order purposes here, we're going to go Clint, then we're going to go Hack, then we'll go to me, then we will go to Dagan. And for any record keepers at home, Hack, you were 8-4 last week, the winner of the week. Dagan, 7-5. Clint, you were not on the Thursday night show, I believe, last week. I was 5-7, but nobody cares about that. All right, let's get to game number 1. Hack,
that was good there, Greg. Get over it quick.
Well, I'm ready to mail this in at this point. This is horrendous. I like the slate this week, though, Dagan. I texted you that individually.
It is
true.
a good slate. Solid slate.
Clint, you're going to go first for us, then throw it to Hack. The first game on the list, LSU at Florida.
I'm going Florida. It's at Florida in the Swamp. I think my man, big man, Anthony Richardson, baby. I don't know who the hell he is in them games between the good matchups and the bigger ball games. I can't speak for that Anthony, but I'm gonna tell you what. When a big game comes up, it seems like him and old Napier are on the same page. So I'm gonna ride Florida in this ball game at home in the Swamp.
Yeah, I agree with him. I think similar teams in terms of development. But I do think playing at the Swamp is going to give Florida the edge here. And I like the Gators.
I think LSU got their heart ripped out of them last week, and I'm very curious to see how that aspect travels into the Swamp. I'll take Florida. Dagan.
Yeah, I did not like what I saw from LSU last week. Give me Florida.
Game number 2, Arkansas at BYU. Clint.
Come on, Chief. Come on. Come on. Hey. This is a must win. This is a must win for my boy Sam Pittman now. This is a must win. You understand Alabama? I can't get down with A&M. They gave that ball game away. But I can understand Alabama. I can understand Mississippi State without your quarterback. You get number 1 back, KJ Jefferson's back. You got to go down there and handle business against BYU now. I'm going with them Hogs, baby. Sweet.
Yep. I'm right there with you, Clint. Not for any of the reasons that you just mentioned, but because I picked BYU twice and they kicked me square in my fucking balls 2 times. So I'm riding with Arkansas because BYU they have not been very friendly to me. So,
oh shit.
Hack.
Yeah. Whatever that is.
There it is. Come on.
Hack, you must not have picked many Arkansas games this year then if they haven't kicked you in the nuts yet, but BYU has. I'm curious on that one. Clint, I got one question for you. Are there any Hogs in the mountains?
Hell yeah.
I don't think there are. I'm going BYU, baby. In the mountains. In the mountains. No chance. Dave.
I mean, where the fuck do you think Fayetteville is, bro? I mean, what are we doing?
Not those mountains. The other mountains. Dave.
Last time I checked, that's the damn Ozarks, I think.
I mean, Greg, again, I respect the pick, but it's a silly pick because you're going against Clint. Clint's the guy. Give me the Hogs.
Damn. Dagan, you finally come to your damn senses.
That's right, man.
Let's
go. Go Hogs. KG Jefferson's back. BYU.
Dagan, I got to get one of them.
Nah,
come on.
That didn't happen.
Oh, you sissy.
No. Just let me know.
Clemson at Florida State. We move on. Clint.
Who we got?
Clemson, Florida State.
Oh, this was tough for me. This is the one I'm thinking about switching, but I'm going to ride Clemson.
Like I said, I think Clemson has proven enough to me up to this point. I think Dabo's got them back on track. They know what they need to do. Give me the Tigers.
I'm going Clemson too, and I think this is a big DJ game. If Wake Forest could light up this Florida State defense the way they did, I think we could see some big numbers from DJ. Dagan.
Clemson. next.
Simple as that.
Easy.
Iowa State at Texas. Clint.
I'm going Texas, man. This ain't your typical Iowa State, Matt Campbell, Iowa State. I don't know what's going on. 3-3, disappointing. And I think Quinn Ewers at the University of Texas. I'm a believer that it's a different football team. I don't know exactly how much different, like how much better, but I think they're a team that isn't going to lose to Iowa State this week with Quinn Ewers, if you know what I'm saying. I'm riding the horns, baby.
Yep. Give me Texas.
Horns up. Texas. Dagan.
Hook 'em. Give me Texas. Quinn Ewers.
You can't call the Hogs, but you can do that hook 'em shit.
That's easy.
Golly,
That's easy.
man.
I'm not gonna make a fool of myself saying 2 words here, Clint. Come on now.
We got Minnesota at Illinois. A ranked Illinois, by the way. Number 24 in the poll right now. Clint.
I'm going with Minnesota, man. Row the boat. I want to ride. I want to ride with my boy Bielema, but I just can't do it. I'm fighting. I done lost too many damn ball games on these Thursday nights. I gotta go Minnesota.
Minnesota had a bye week. Mo Ibrahim did not play during that Purdue debacle 2 weeks ago. He's back, expected to play. Been the driving force of this football team. I got them beating Illinois, especially with DeVito, being kind of up in the air whether or not he's going to play. So I got the Gophers, and the Gophers by at least 2 scores.
Wow.
Oh no.
Oh wow. BetRivers.com.
Hey,
Sure.
Minnesota is a 6.5-point favorite right now. So
Sure. I'll go opposite side here. I actually think DeVito's going to play. I have nothing that makes me know that. It's just a pure gut feeling. I think that place is going to be jumping as much as an Illinois football game can be jumping. I'll take the
Greg, how has that worked out for you?
I'm about to say the gut feeling hasn't been great, Greg.
Well, let me just say this, gentlemen. Normally when I go the gut feeling, it's me taking the unranked team against the ranked team. If y'all are all going to pick the unranked team, I'll take the ranked team at home. Dagan.
Well, I'm gonna throw producer Trevor under the bus here a little bit because we were talking before the show, and if Mo Ibrahim coming back wasn't enough for me to pick Minnesota, producer Trevor, obviously big Illinois guy, Illinois alum, he knows a little bit about the Illini, and he thinks that this Illini team is playing a little bit above their pay grade right now at number 24 in the country. So give me the Golden Gophers. Sorry, producer Trevor, but Mo Ibrahim's a little bit different.
Hey, Dagan, that's why I love Tricky Trev. He got them neon lights, and you know what? He ain't scared to tell. He ain't gonna bullshit you. Hey, that's my squad's playing above their head right now, man. It is what it is.
I respect it. I respect it.
Hey, that's it. Tricky Trev, you're all right with me, man.
Shout out producer Trevor. All right, Kansas at Oklahoma, the game I do not care about. Clint.
Man, who'd I go with in this one? You ain't gonna believe this. And when I made this pick, I don't give 2 shits who starts at quarterback for Kansas. Rock Chalk Jayhawk, whatever the hell that is. Give him to me, baby.
Yeah, well, I mean, the quarterback that played last week for Kansas played phenomenal, in my opinion. Bean.
Yeah,
right?
Jason the Mean Bean.
Jason Bean.
Yeah, that's his name.
Not to be confused with Jason Bourne. I'm with Clint on Kansas.
That was slick.
I'm solo here again. It sounds like I'm going Oklahoma. I just think this is a tall task for a program that is not used to winning, that had all the life of their season sucked out last week, and now they've got the backup quarterback there. I think it comes crashing down this week. Dagan.
Not so fast, my friend Greg. I'm also with you on Oklahoma. Let's roll. Dylan Gabriel back. I mean, Oklahoma's got to win eventually, right? Like, they got to win a Big 12 game eventually. So why not now? Let's do it.
Hack, I got to say, I don't feel good with you calling me a sucker here. Like, should I change the picks? I don't like this.
No, come on. Stick with your gut, Greg. You were sticking with your gut.
I'm terrified. When Hack tells me I'm a sucker, man. Let's move on. It's USC at Utah. Big one. Clint.
SC. I think SC's got. I mean, there's too much horsepower there for Utah, man. I think USC runs away with this one.
I concur. Go Trojans. I think they like I said, I think they're going to finally have to dip into their bag of tricks a little bit, and I'm kind of excited to see them put some of that shit on tape.
USC is going to lose a game this year, but it's not this one. I think they get this one. Dagan.
As much as I want to pick Utah on this spot, right? The whole biker gang, they're super tough. Like everybody kind of, I don't know about everybody, but I want Utah to kind of be good, but I don't know. Not that they're not going to be good, but I don't see it in this one. USC.
I think that's a field of 12 first that all four of us are on the betting line underdog in a game. Wow.
Probably.
If you want to jump on that with us. All right. NC State at Syracuse. Clint.
At Syracuse, I'll take NC State. Man, this is one too. I want to take the Orange. Are they called the Orange now, or can we call them the Orange Men? Is that politically correct?
They're called the Orange, but
you call them whatever.
You can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want.
Hey, can I switch mine?
Clint, you know the rules. You can switch whenever you want.
Well, I mean, I just thought I'd pay you the respect and clear with you, bub.
You can
I'm gonna ride Syracuse right here. I'm gonna ride Syracuse.
Damn.
Graphics just gonna be
come
wrong,
on.
But you can switch it.
You gonna ride with me, Hack Dog?
Hell no. So Syracuse got my Purdue Boilermakers up in the dome. I'll give them that. I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off against the Wolfpack. I think the defense is going to be a factor. I think the NC State defense still travels. And I think Devin Leary's due. I think Devin Leary and his weapons are due for a big game, and I think it might be this week. So I'm going Wolfpack.
Is Devin Leary playing in this game? Do we know that? Status is uncertain.
I'll look it up. Let's keep it going.
Damn, Wad.
I didn't mean to bring it crashing down there, but that was part of my pick. I'm going.
I thought I checked all the damn injury reports, man. What the hell is up with these guys?
He is uncertain. It just says uncertain. Obviously, we have a couple days.
I'm going Q's.
He's got Toradol. They got Toradol. That shit travels. He'll be all right.
More important to me than Devin Leary's status, though, is the fact that just in general, I'm a big dome guy. This is a dome game. Q's.
Are you?
Are you? Good for you, Greg. Good for you, Greg.
So Hack is a big head guy. You're a big dome guy. I mean, we got a lot going on here. Is that two different parts of the country?
What do they call that? The candlestick.
The candle room.
Oh man, Field 12 live show from the Candle Room coming soon, everybody. I have NC State in this game, basically because of what Clint said earlier with Schrader. I mean, he's kind of due for a turnover kind of here and there. And this is by far the best defense that Syracuse has faced all year. I mean, I don't think UConn, no disrespect to Rob Doster, but I don't think UConn's rocking out a team that is going to make them pay for those mistakes. So give me NC State.
Mississippi State at Kentucky, another game with, I guess, status quarterback stuff up in the air. Clint.
I'm gonna ride with my boy Stoops, man. I'm gonna ride with Kentucky in this one. I think there's a chance that Leach could have something a little special in Mississippi State, but I know Leach, and there's always a couple of games in there that they're not supposed to lose, but they do. I think Kentucky sneaks up on Mississippi State, shuts them down this week, and stops their little winning streak they're on right now. Quiets them up a little bit. I'm going with my boy Mark Stoops and the Kentucky Wildcats.
I'm with you. Last game, Mississippi State lost, was to an LSU team who ran the ball for 206 yards. I think Kentucky has an identity of establishing the run. They can keep it out of Will Rogers' hands for a good fraction of that. And then when you add Will Levis into that equation, because I think he is going to play. I mean, the dude has mayo in his coffee. He's got to strap that ankle up and be ready to rock. So I got the Kentucky Wildcats.
Hey, real quick, Hack. One dude, we got to put this on the docket down the road. We ain't giving Will Rogers the respect he deserves.
No,
that young fella spinning that thing all over the park, and it is impressive. It's not your typical air raid guy that just sits back there and popcorn arms that damn thing around the park. He's impressive, man. Just for the record.
No, I'm with you. I'm right there on board with you. And that's why I said they got to keep that thing out of his hands. So establish the run, control the football. Like you said, 13, 14 play drives, wear them out. Keep them on the sideline.
So I felt a lot better about this before you just added that last sentence, Clint. But I just want to say I have a very simple rule. Whenever Clint Stoerner says he feels very strongly about an SEC game that does not include the Arkansas Razorbacks. I'm with Clint. Give me Kentucky. Dagan.
Well, Clint, you said we're not giving Will Rogers enough respect. Next week we will be, because Mississippi State is going to win this game. Give me the Bulldogs. And I don't have a PFF game of the week like I normally do. I don't have one this week, right? Surprise. Hack did more numbers than I did. This week.
Why, Dagan? Why don't you have a PFF?
Well, I'll give you a number. So in this last 7 games in this series, the home team is 7-0. So obviously that puts Kentucky here as the favorite, right? Make it 1-7 or 7-1. I messed that all up. Make it 7-1. Give me Mississippi State.
You did mess that up.
I screwed it all up. Just go to the next game.
Upon your PFF bullshit.
Next game.
Right.
Numbers. Oklahoma State at TCU. Big one, Clint.
Man, you know I got to ride. I got to ride with the Cowboys, man. I got them. I got them winning the conference. They can't do it without winning this ball game. I don't believe. I guess if all hell broke loose down the stretch, they could, but they need this one. So I'm going with the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
I am also with Clint for all of the mentioned reasons of kind of being high on them, and I kind of got to go with it. So
I'm with you. I'm going Oklahoma State, but I am very, very nervous about this one. Dagan.
Well, Greg, you said it was the first time we all picked against the betting favorite. Make it twice in the same show. Oklahoma State. I'm with Clint. I like this Oklahoma State team. I think they're going to win the Big 12, or I picked them to win the Big 12 early in the year. I mean, nobody knows that because I don't tell anybody, but in my head, I picked them to win the Big 12, so I'm rolling with the Cowboys.
Wow. Lightning strikes twice. Okay, Hack. The Hackenberg Bowl, Penn State at Michigan. I know what both your picks are going to be, but Clint, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm picking Michigan because of the known. I think I'm sorry. I meant Penn State. I'm sorry. Damn, 2 tequilas down. I meant Penn State. I really do believe, and this all BS aside, I think Sean Clifford is the difference maker in this ball game. I think the veteran that can handle all the adversity that's been there before, done it before. I think that bringing that stability to the ballpark, I think that's the difference here. I really do. So I'm riding with Penn State and my man Ginger Nation, Sean Clifford, baby.
This is for my Penn State folks out there. This is it's 11:22 on October 13th, and Michigan still sucks. Go Nittany Lions. Go Nittany Lions.
So I'll give you guys some credit. You guys were right when you said one thing about this game. You were right when you said that Sean Clifford will be the difference. Michigan wins the game because of Sean Clifford in this game. Give me the Wolverines. Dagan.
Well, Greg, you mentioned this when we talked about this game earlier, right? In the rundown, it said, or in your notes, as you put it, either of these teams are unproven. Well, guess who writes those notes? That would be me. And I believe both these teams. I'm not impressed with either of these teams. I'm being honest. I mean, I understand they're 5-10 in the country, but I haven't seen a lot to really show me that either of these teams are kind of pulling away in the Big Ten.
So, what's your point?
I'm getting there. The team that has impressed me a little bit more than the other is Michigan. Give me Michigan. Blake Corum is going to be.
Was it the win over Hawaii?
A big difference.
No. Or Wi-Fi State?
Heck. I also want to make it very clear that as a Notre Dame fan, this is a really hard game to pick. I just want to make that really clear. But yeah.
Well, it wasn't real clear. What the hell did you say?
Give me Michigan. I'm going Michigan.
Oh.
All right,
okay.
we're split too.
Can't wait.
Two on this one. I can't wait to come back. To this
I'm very excited for this next game. By the way, I know whoever picked. Obviously, I'm excited.
I might have to hit you on the side and get a little side bet going with you. On this. I feel pretty strong about this one, my friend.
Oh, that's fine.
I'll throw something.
Why do we got to do it on the side? Why can't we do it right now? Why can't we just do it right now?
I need to think creatively of what type of punishment I want.
I am about all of the smoke. That's what we need.
All right. Okay. Final game of the week: Alabama at Tennessee. Clint.
Oh man, I like Alabama in this game, man. I think Tennessee is the real deal. I really do, but I think Alabama comes out and plays. I just think Alabama's going to put it together, man. They've struggled throughout the year with Arkansas in the third quarter, obviously letting them make the run back. With Texas, they struggled. I think they've had their fair share of struggles. I just think I think Alabama, for some reason, is going to come out and run Tennessee. I think it's a good ball game, but I think Alabama wins it.
I think Alabama has struggled way more than I've seen an Alabama team struggle, and for that reason, I think Rocky Top's going to have a reason to celebrate down there in Knoxville. So I'm going UT, Tennessee.
Oh, I'm jumping on Hack's bandwagon here. I think Tennessee gets this one. I really do. Dagan.
This could be a first in like TV / I don't even know, college football show history. But what did we say earlier? Get Hooker in the candle room or whatever. What are we doing? We're getting Hooker in the candle room. I mean, I've already said it previously. I'm buying Hooker. Go ahead, Clint. You can finish that off if you want. Won't be my first. Isn't that what you said last time?
Wouldn't be your first time, Chief.
Give me Tennessee in this one. I'm going with the Vols.
Wow. Look at us, gentlemen. I mean, we've come so far from an hour ago to where we are now. Who would have thought, Hack? Who would have thought? I'm even, you know what? We're going to end with a bonus pick.
Not me.
We're going to end with a bonus pick here. Clint, you got to tell me who's winning game 3, the Houston Astros or the Seattle Mariners.
I mean, the Astros, Chief. I mean, are you shitting me? Hey, here's the deal. Here's the deal, boss. When Yordan Alvarez, he snatched them motherfuckers' soul when he hit that 3-run bomb. You do realize that was, in terms of win probability, that was the number one moment in Major League Baseball postseason history. You do realize that, don't you?
Now
it was the number. Hey, Dagan, you all of them nerd numbers you got. It was the biggest swing in postseason history, my friend.
I'll tell you what, man, you fucking better.
And then you check it out. His double off the wall early in the 3rd inning, that was a 15% swing in win probability. You add those two together, and you've got the best single position player performance in Major League Baseball postseason history.
Can he do it again?
Fucking A right. If they pitch to him, if they pitch to him, I mean, are you shitting me? I said it when he hit that 3-run bomb. I said, it's over. It's over. They took all the wind out of them boys' sail. Them young bucks went down there and overcome an 8-1 deficit late in the game against the Blue Jays. They came in there and knocked Verlander off the bump, put 6 runs on his ass. They were on cloud 9, and one man wearing number 44. Wood grain gripping. You hear me? Wood grain gripping. Yordan Alvarez. Snatch their soul, baby. Astros in 3. Book it.
Oh, you heard it here first.
And that's on Paul Wall, baby.
On the Field of 12 After Dark, where you get top-notch football and baseball analysis. Thank you, everybody, for watching, for listening, for Christian Hackenberg, for Clint Stoerner, for producer Dagan, for Tricky Trev, and for the Candle Room. I'm Greg Waddell, and we will see you Saturday.